So what's going on guys, Kids here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today I will show you the new insane and improved Ajax build in the first Descendant. So for this build I will show you what weapons and modules you want to get. Then I will explain every single skill and show you the best reactor stats and external components. And then lastly we will take a closer look at the gameplay and weapon mods, so you would be able to get the best results and highest damage and tankiness possible and much more. So then let's move over to the build. Ajax is all about providing shields and locking down enemies. You have to play him as very aggressive tank, getting in the faces of your enemies and keeping them engaged with you so your allies can clear them out. The key to perfecting this playstyle is to move around the battlefield, providing cover for your allies while keeping aggression on you. The most important thing to learn to get good at playing him is how the void energy mechanic works and how can you harness it. All of your Ajax's skills have normal and enhanced versions. Casting skills in their normal versions will save up void energy. However, casting a skill when your void energy is full will cause the skill to become enhanced, which will give you additional effects. Our specific build setup will focus on sustaining our insanely high defenses, while at the same time maxing out our Ajax's damage till the last percentage possible. So then with that said, now let's take a look at our build modules. So for the endgame build, I recommend to use the Void Explosion, which modifies our explosion to a stackable skill. It also reduces the charge sub-attack cooldown and increases its damage after you use the explosion skill. Then we have the Shock Punch, that increases our max module capacity. Then we have the MP Accelerant, that increases our skill duration by 9% and increases our mana by about 3%. Then we have Auto Immunity, that gives us -10% incoming damage modifier and +7% HP recovery. Then we have Focus on Non-Attribute, that gives us +19% skill power and -6% cooldown reduction. Then Increased HP, that gives us +218% more health. Then the Time Distribution, that reduces our skill cooldowns by 14% and increases our health by 52%. Then next up we have the Iron Defense, that increases our defensives by 78% and gives us a bonus +11% skill power modifier. Then we have the Technician, that increases our skill power modifier by 14%. Then for one of the last ones we have the Increased Defense, that increases our defensives by whopping 160%. And finally we have the Steam Accelerant, that gives us +234% increased health, but at the cost of our mana being reduced by -15%. And just before we move on to the last part, which is your weapons, let me quickly explain why are some skills modules empty, like here for example. So basically, the slot modifies our skills, but the problem is that by using the best modules, we will fill up our module capacity cost. But it's still 100% better to only use the best modules, rather than to have all full slots, only full with average looking modules, which would make your build not 100% optimized. So don't worry about the empty spaces. And lastly, depending on which level you are, the percentage increases on the modules will be different for each player. Then next up, let's take a look at the best weapons and weapon mods that we should use. So for our weapon loadout, the first one is the Tamer machine gun, that is the new meta weapon for killing bosses in a single target fights. And for the mods, we want to get the Rifling Reinforcement, that increases our weapon's ATK by 32%. Then Action and Reaction, that increases the ATK by 61% and recoil by 20%. Then Better Insight, that increases the critical hit rate by 39%. Then Better Concentration, that increases our critical hit damage by 74%. And finally the Chill Enhancement, that adds chill ATK equal to 30% of our weapon's total ATK. Then for our second weapon, we want to use the Assassin's Edge, and the mods are Rifling Reinforcement, that gives us +32% ATK increase. Then Action and Reaction for 40% ATK increase and 13% recoil. Then Better Concentration for critical hit damage increase by 16%. And lastly the Better Insight for critical hit rate increase by 17%. And then finally for our third weapon of choice, we wanna get the Young Noble's Ambition, with mods like the Rifling Reinforcement that increases ATK by 28%. Then Action and Reaction, that gives us +19% ATK and 6% recoil. Then Marksman, that increases our critical hit rate by 8%, and ATK is increased as well by massive 1%. Then we get Better Insight for another 8% critical hit rate, then better concentration for 8% critical hit damage, and finally the chill enhancement that adds chill ATK equal to 10% of your weapon's overall ATK. Then next up, let's go over to the best reactors and external components. So your reactor is very important item that determines your skill damage and can also include extra modifiers that buff certain aspects of your build. The better your reactor is, the more damage your skills will deal to enemies. I recommend prioritizing using a reactor with the highest skill power and the sub-attack power. Specifically, my best job that I got is this materialized phase reactor that gives us massive DPS numbers as we are using the machine gun, so we meet the optimization condition, which significantly increases our overall damage. But if you're not at this point yet, then any other similar reactor will work fine as well, until you get the best one. And then as for your external components, they're even more of an RNG, at least until you've played the game for long enough to find basically every single possible combination with a good stat roll. For our build specifically, I recommend use the defensive support auxiliary power that increases our defenses by massive amount. Then the Tom Vanguard sensor that again increases our defensives and a little bit of mana recovery. But as we have two set piece, we get plus 25% defense increase as well. Then the next one is HP support memory that increases our max HP. And finally we have the Tom Vanguard processor that increases our defensives by massive amount. And finally, let's take a look at our skills. The first passive skill is called the Event Horizon, which will give you the ability to store void energy during the battle. Void energy can be used to enhance skills with additional effects. Then our first active skill is the Orbit Barrier, which creates a shield in front of the Ajax. Durability increases proportional to Ajax's HP and defense, and if enhanced, this will reflect damage proportional to enemies hitting the barrier. Then the second one is Void Walk. This skill leaps into the air and lands on the ground to strike nearby enemies by stunning them. Max shield increases for a certain period of time. Then Explosion skill will strike nearby enemies, knocking them back, and if enhanced, knockback range and max shields are increased. And finally we have the Hypercube skill that creates a dome-shaped shield. Durability increases proportional to Ajax's HP and defenses, and if enhanced, it will also reflect damage proportional to the enemies hitting the barrier. As I said at the start, casting skills in the normal versions will save up void energy, and when your void energy is full, it will cause your skills to become enhanced, granting you additional effects. I strongly recommend you to familiarize yourself with the normal and enhanced versions, and try to form the habit of being tactical about which enhanced skill to use when your void energy is full. This will take a bit of practice to master, because it's a somewhat a different playstyle to the other characters in the game. Other than the void energy mechanic, try to play into Ajax's strengths as much as possible, so you can create cover for yourself and allies in locations of your choosing by using the Ajax's barrier skills, and you can use Void Walk and stun the nearby enemies when you land by dealing AoE damage. This overall playstyle makes Ajax a great team player who can spearhead attacks and keep teammates alive, and that's about it. So with that said, I really do appreciate everyone for watching guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or suggestions, then feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and not miss any more amazing content. With that said, you have an amazing day and I will see you in the next one, so take it easy, peace.